Nate and welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're here with another video, and today is a story video. My hands are inside my little thingy because I'm cold. Anyway, so I am going to set you a scene. It is at the end of March, like March 31st. I am snuggled in my bed, fast asleep. And then suddenly at 12:50 in the morning, I hear a knock on the door. It's late at night. Like, it's 12 a.m. at night. And somebody's knocking at my door. So I will dream these dreams where I'm late for something. And I don't know why my brain does this, but I'll get like anxiety about it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm late for something, and my brain will be like, I'm sleeping, and in my dream it's like, oh, you're late for something. I'm constantly checking my phone and stuff like that. And I was having one of those dreams at this moment. So 12:50 a.m. someone knocks on my door. I shoot awake, and at first I'm like, did I like hear that right? Did I hear a knock at the door? And it wasn't somebody taking their hand to door. It was somebody taking the handle and knocking. And they didn't knock like multiple times. They only knocked once. So they took the handle to the knocker and went, and that's it. One knock, that's it. And I shot awake, and I'm looking at my phone like, oh my god, what time it is? Did I miss Alyssa? Is that who is at my door knocking? Is Alyssa, my mentor. So I looked at my phone, saw it was 12:50 at night, and I'm like, who the frick is at my house that late? And then at that moment, my brain's like, maybe I didn't hear it. Maybe my dream messed with my head and made me think that I heard this. So I sat up a bit more. I was sat up, propped up by my elbow. I sit up fully, and I look at my cat. My cat is laying at the end of my bed like he always does, and he sleeps on a blanket that I have at the end of my bed. So he's sleeping on the blanket, and I look at my cat, and I realize my cat ears are perked, and he's staring out through my door on my bedroom to the front door. So obviously my cat heard the same noise I heard. So obviously that wasn't my dream, and I'm like, holy hell, this is actually real. And that's when pure freaking panic set into my bones. I legitimately was freaking out so bad. My heart was going it was like trying to break out of my rib cage. I was so panicked because I live alone, and I didn't know who the fuck was at my door. So I got up and I stood. You can't see it. I stood in the doorway, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking down at the bottom of the door, still thinking that I didn't hear it and my cat was just like playing with me or something. I don't know. So I was standing there, and I was looking at the bottom of the door to see if I could see something, and lo and behold, I saw a shadow move by. So somebody was actually standing at my door. I was like, oh my lord, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna answer it, obviously, but I slowly make my way over to the door, and I put my hands up against the door, and I peek through the little peephole, and there was a guy on the other side of the room. By the time I got to the door, he had moved on and went to the next door to knock on that door. Why he was knocking on people's doors, I don't know. I didn't answer the door to ask him what the fuck he wanted. So I'm standing there, heart racing, panting pretty much against this door, going because I'm freaking having a panic attack at this point, peeping through the hole, looking at this guy, and he's pretty chubby. He has a ball cap on, and I couldn't really see him very well, but that's all I got, was that he's a little chubby and he had a ball cap on, and he was going to door, knocking on people's doors. Like I said, don't know why, didn't answer, so I don't know. So I was like standing there peeping through the hole for a good while, and then I turned and went back to my room, and then as I turned to walk back to my room, I heard the door, because you have two doors that you have to go through to get into this building. the door that's supposed to be shut and locked every single night was not shut and locked. He just waltzed in to our complex. Yeah, so you walk in through a secure door that is not secured at all. And then he comes in through this other, then you go through this other door. So you go in through this, through the secured door, and then you're in where the mailbox is. And then when you go in through the mailbox area, you go into where the apartments are. And so I heard him go back out towards the mailbox, and I'm like, okay, he left. So I sat down on my bed, and I put all my blankets on me, and I'm just like sitting there like a little fucking kid going, what am I supposed to do? Do I call the police? I'm sitting there panicking. I'm like, oh my god, what happens if he didn't really leave? What happens if he... I'm like, what if he tries to break in through my window? What do I do? So I'm sitting there panicking like a little freaking kid with a blanket over thing. I'm like, it's okay if he tries to break in. I have my phone next to me, which I did. And then there's a switch above me that I can set off, which is an alarm that we have in our house for people that need assistance. So if he did try anything, I would have set that alarm off and then called 911. Immediately. But I was panicking, and I texted my best friend. I'm like, oh my god, this guy is here, and I told her everything. Somebody needs to know something's going on, even though I'm not going to call the police, which was stupid. I should have called the police. My mom told me that I should have called the police, and my landlord told me that I should have called the police, but I did not, because I was panicking too much to even think about it. But then I was like, kind of thinking about it, because I'm like, if he does anything, then I'll just call the police. So I sat there, texted my best friend. I'm like, oh my god, telling her everything. And then I was sitting there for a good while waiting for her to see if I heard anything or anything happened. Nothing happened. I finally got myself to calm down, and I fell back to sleep. Then the next morning, I got up, and I was with my mentor, and I told her everything. She's like, did you call the police? Oh yeah, my mentor also told me to call the police, and I did not. And then I called my landlord, and I told her everything, how he was in the building, he was knocking on people's door, he knocked on my door, and he might have knocked on all the doors. I don't know, because I saw him knock on my door and the guy across from me's door, but I didn't see him knock on any other door. And he might have knocked on the lady above me, because before I fell asleep, I heard ruckus up there. So he might have went upstairs and knocked on her door, and then nothing happened. But yeah, so I sat up, waited, and then fell asleep. And then the next morning, called my landlord and told her everything. And she's like, did you call the police? Of course I did not. And I told her I didn't call the police. And she's like, okay, if that happens again, make sure you call the police. I'm like, okay. And then she asked me what the guy looked like. I'm like, he's probably like in his 50s or 60s. I know that he was pretty old. He wasn't young or anything. He had I told her that he was a little big, but he had a pot belly. He had what they called here a beer belly, and he had a cap on. She's like, okay, did you see any other features of him? I'm like, I don't know. I was looking through the pothole. Not the pothole. I was looking through the peephole, and I couldn't really see him very well. And on top of that, he also had a baseball cap on, so it's kind of shadowing his face. And of course, it was 12 in the freaking morning, and I was exhausted. I was like not fully awake, so I wasn't really I was paying attention, but not that close of attention, obviously. Yeah, so I said it happened around 12 to 1, and that was it. I told her everything that I knew, and I don't know if they ever caught the guy or not, or I don't know. Like, I was hoping for kind of an update, like, oh, we found the guy, or something, or she might have found him in the cameras. I don't know if he went to every apartment complex or just our complex. I don't know. But I'm hoping, now that she knows that people can get into her apartment complex, that she will fix the door, because the door is not broken, but it doesn't, like, people don't shut it properly. And when you go over to use the laundry room, they have an automatic door, so it shuts automatically and locks it, and you have to have a key to unlock it and open it and get in. And I'm hoping that they will do that here, that they will do that to all the doors that have automatic doors where the door will automatically shut and lock, and you have to use your key every time to come in instead of having people, because they don't shut the door. They just slam, like they just leave and the door slams shut, but it doesn't shut all the way. It doesn't lock. So people don't shut the door properly. And now a guy just wandered into my complex. And that I was freaking out because I live alone. I don't have anyone here to like help me protect myself. Like I could protect myself, but like it's kind of still scary because I'm living alone and I don't have anyone to like, I don't know. But yeah, so that's my time that somebody entered my complex that I do not know. I did not know the guy at all. I don't know if anyone else in the apartment complex knew him. I don't know if anyone else saw him or I was the only one that saw him. But when I called her, I was hoping that she would be like, oh yeah, some other people had called and told us about the guy, but no one did. So I'm assuming everyone else didn't wake up and I was the only one that woke up and saw the guy. I don't know. But yeah, so I was hoping, like I said, that the landlord would have called and be like, oh yeah, multiple people came forward and told us that some guy came to their door or something, but nothing like that has happened. No one's, I guess, come forward. And I was also kind of hoping that she would find something on the camera, because there's other cameras around here. I was kind of hoping that she would find something on the cameras and would be like, hey, can you come down and at the cameras and see if this is the guy that you saw or something like that. But sadly she hasn't done that. But yeah, if anything else happens with this story, I will update you guys. But like, he wasn't really doing anything other than knocking on people's doors. For what reason, I don't know. But I know it was like kind of harmless, but who knows what he would have done if somebody opened the door. So I guess I could understand why they would want me to call the police. I was going to actually keep the door closed and be like, who's there? And like kind of like yell and see what he would want, but not open the door and see what he wanted. But I was too freaked out and too scared to do it, so I just went back to bed and crawled underneath my blankets and hid like a little kid, scared for her life. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Like I said, if anything else happens, I will update you guys on it. But I think this might have just been a one-time thing, but who knows? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Ring that bell if you want to see more videos from me. Subscribe if you want to not see a cute, beautiful night wolves in the next video. Goodbye. Don't you know that you're beautiful?